Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you've ever completely frozen up at a networking event, or maybe actively avoided eye contact in the hallway just to escape small talk, or felt that awful tight knot in your stomach just thinking about introducing yourself to someone new, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're diving straight into the psychological roots of social anxiety, and we're going to equip you with a concrete, actionable playbook to finally overcome it.
So let's just tackle this head on. Why does saying a simple hello to a stranger feel like jumping out of an airplane? Understanding why a casual greeting triggers this literal life or death panic response is the absolute first step to beating it. I mean, it seems completely irrational, right? Logically, you know that saying hi to someone in a coffee shop isn't going to end your life. You know they aren't going to attack you. Yet your body reacts with the exact same adrenaline, the exact same sweating, and the exact same racing heart as if you were stepping out of a perfectly good airplane into thin air.
Here is our roadmap for the explainer today. 1. The root of social anxiety. 2. How fear actually works. 3. The 100 interaction challenge. And 4. The tricks to actually take action in the real world.
All right, starting off with part 1, the root of social anxiety and unlearning the fear of hello. Let's unpack exactly why you feel so incredibly nervous around strangers, acquaintances, or romantic interests. Psychology reveals a pretty fascinating contrast here. Get this, we are only born with two innate fears. Just two, the fear of falling down and the fear of loud noises. When you come into this world, that is the entire list of things you are biologically programmed to be afraid of. Every single other fear you have, it's entirely acquired through nurture. We learn to be afraid of heights, we learn to be afraid of spiders, and, actually, more importantly for us today, we learn to be terrified of social awkwardness and confrontation. Your brain developed these specific fears over time to keep you safe from perceived danger, but it made a massive, life-altering miscalculation when it comes to everyday social interaction. So, what does this all mean? Well, because your brain learned to artificially inflate the danger of a slightly awkward conversation, it means you have the absolute power to unlearn it. You are not hardwired to be socially anxious forever. It is not some permanent personality trait that you're just stuck with for life. It's a learned behavior. And honestly, just like bad posture or a terrible golf swing, it can be systematically unlearned once you apply the right pressure to it.
Moving into part 2, how fear actually works. The mechanics of panic. To unlearn the fear, we really have to know what makes it tick. And fear is highly predictable. It's not random at all. It follows a very strict set of rules. Think of it like a biological algorithm. If you feel social anxiety and you choose to run away, say you suddenly look down at your phone instead of making eye contact, or you literally cross the street to avoid a neighbor, the perceived danger inflates. Your brain gets a massive hit of relief and thinks, wow, we escaped. That situation must have been genuinely dangerous. And that reinforces the panic for next time. But if you face it, the fear physically shrinks. Every single time you don't run away, your brain is forced to recalibrate. It takes in the new data and realizes, wait a minute, we didn't die. The danger wasn't real.
You've got to remember, fear doesn't have to be a roadblock. Once you start treating fear as a tool you can control, kind of like a dashboard indicator telling you that you are about to grow, rather than a giant red stop sign telling you to turn around, you become a much more capable person. It's really just energy in your body, and you can actively harness that exact energy to push yourself forward into new experiences, rather than letting it hold you hostage in your comfort zone.
Okay, part 3, the 100 interaction challenge. This is the ultimate social experiment.
Now that we deeply understand the science and the mechanics of how our brains process panic, let's get into the actionable solution. This is where the rubber meets the road. The rules are incredibly simple. I want you to interact with 100 strangers over the next month. Yep, that's it. That is the magic number. Not 5, not 10, but 100. This specific volume forces you to confront your fear over and over and over again until it completely diminishes through sheer exposure. You're basically giving your brain undeniable data that people are safe. But hey, don't panic. I'm definitely not asking you to walk up to 100 strangers and, debate the meaning of life or deliver a 5-minute comedy routine.
To ease into this challenge, you're going to use what we call bulletproof conversations. These are socially acceptable conversation starters that simply cannot go wrong. Think about the biggest insecurity people have when talking to strangers. What if they think I'm weird? What if they completely reject me? Bulletproof conversations completely demolish that fear because they are entirely transactional. They don't require you to stick your neck out, share a personal opinion, or try to be exceptionally charismatic.
Here is your cheat sheet of bulletproof examples. Seriously, take a mental screenshot right now. Hey, what's the time? Excuse me, do you know how to get to the library? Rate my new shoes on the scale of 1 to 10. Are there any good restaurants around here? Look, nobody is going to yell at you for asking for the time. Literally no one is going to chase you out of a building for asking for directions to the nearest coffee shop. It absolutely doesn't matter if the interaction lasts literally 5 seconds. You are getting the vital exposure your brain needs to realize that other human beings are not a threat to your survival.
This timeline right here maps out the psychological journey you are going to experience over the next month. Interaction number 1, yeah, it's going to feature high anxiety. Your heart will probably pound, you're going to feel super nervous. But keep going, just keep racking up the numbers, because right around the 35th person, this really profound psychological shift happens. The exposure takes hold, and it actually starts becoming a fun game. You completely stop worrying about their reaction, and you start genuinely enjoying the process of breaking the ice. By the time you hit interaction 100, that crippling social anxiety is crushed. You've essentially rewired your brain's default response to strangers.
And once you complete those first 100, you level up the game. You do the challenge again, but this time you ditch the bulletproof starters. You try a slightly bolder, more open-ended line like, "Hey, how's your day going?" And the real trick to pulling this off? Delivering it with a huge, genuine smile. This pushes your comfort zone just a little bit further. Now that your baseline primal fear of interaction is totally gone, you transition from just surviving the interaction to actively steering it.
And for the guys watching whose main hurdle is specifically talking to romantic interests, you can absolutely customize this approach. You guarantee success by running the exact same 100-person challenge, but exclusively with women. And yes, you can absolutely still use the bulletproof conversation starters we just discussed. The goal remains exactly the same. Just get the reps in. You are proving to your brain 100 times over that there is nothing inherently dangerous about approaching someone you are attracted to.
Finally, part 4, tricks to take action, or how to bypass your own brain. Knowing the challenge is only half the battle, right? Because when you are out in the real world, you will freeze up. The moment your brain starts thinking about approaching someone, it instantly invents a dozen excuses. It tells you they look too busy, or they have headphones in, or you're going to stutter and completely embarrass yourself. So you have to use this 3-2-1 countdown to short-circuit that whole process. Step 1, you spot the person. Step 2, you mentally count 3, 2, 1. Step 3, your feet must move on 1. You force immediate, mechanical, physical action before the negativity and the excuses even have time to form in your mind. You're essentially bypassing your own brain's defense mechanism by simply moving faster than your doubts.
As you rack up these quick, countdown-driven interactions, something absolutely amazing happens in the background. Without even trying, you'll naturally become an expert at reading body language. You'll intuitively start picking up on micro-social cues that you were totally blind to before, mostly because you used to be too trapped in your own head worrying about yourself to even notice them. The ultimate result of this practice? Total, effortless confidence in environments that used to make you sweat. But honestly, the best part isn't even the long-term result. It's the immediate aftermath of just one single interaction. The second you walk away from asking a stranger for the time, you'll feel this tiny adrenaline rush mixed with profound relief that it's over. But most importantly, you will feel a massive, undeniable feeling of accomplishment. You conquered your anxiety for that one moment. You did the hard thing. And let me tell you, that feeling of proving your own fear wrong, it is highly addictive. So armed with the psychology of fear, your cheat sheet of bulletproof questions, and that unstoppable 3-2-1 trick, I have to leave you with one final provocative thought. You know exactly what to do now. So, who are you going to talk to today to kick off interaction number 1? Step out there, count down from 3, and take your life back. Because once you unlearn this fear, you really have to wonder what other limits is your brain faking. Thanks so much for joining me on This Explainer, and I'll see you next time.